All right, welcome to Nutrition 101. We're going to cover basic habits today. This is the foundation and the fundamentals of what's going to be the beginning of building, like I said, a foundation that you can use to call from and use and make part of your lifestyle and part of your habits. And again, that's what drives long-term success. So by now you've either used our 28-day nutrition program, our meal plans and grocery list and shopping guides, or you're going to during the course of this program as well. Now that's all great stuff, right? But for some reason, nobody ever seems to really learn a whole lot from that, or a lot of people still struggle after the 4 weeks. They go, what do I do now? Well, that's a problem. If you haven't learned what it looks like to shop and cook and prep and portion size for fat loss or even muscle gain, depending on what your goals are, after 4 weeks, if you don't have a general idea, then that's where all of this comes into play. Now, you should have a good idea, but there's still a ton of information out there, and there's still a lot to learn. And that's why we ask everybody to commit to our program for at least a year, because we have so many different tools and resources. To put in perspective, my wife and I, we have been doing this for about 10, 11, 12 years. And it's taken us that long to just keep learning and dialing in and getting better. And as nutrition evolves, so does our understanding. And so what took us maybe 10, 11, 12 years may only take you guys 2 or 3 or 4 years. And that's really, it may seem like a long time, but when you put it in perspective, that's really not that long. So that's why our program educates and it teaches and we update and we give that stuff to you as it comes out. And then we also have different levels as well. So we have to build a nice foundation first, right? The better the foundation, the better success you're going to have in the long run. So where most places fail is they just tell you to eat less, move more. And ultimately that's not enough. That's only surface. It doesn't get down into the issues that you might have with blood sugar or cravings or hormones or whatever it might be, or quality of food first. Quality of food should always be first, not quantity. Quality first, and that will dictate your quantity. So trying not to overwhelm you and trying to get down to the basics here is important, because once you can master the basics, then you can move to the next level and so on and so forth. So what we're going to talk about today are the 6 basic habits that you just need to know. And that's really what everything starts from. And they're really quite simple. Now, of course, it gets in depth from there. And that's what we'll break down into little pieces each week with each video. And then, of course, we're going to quiz you and test you on it. So that way you are learning. Because if you're not learning, we're not doing our job and you will not be successful in the long term. So, all right, basic habit number 1. Eating frequently is important to stabilize blood sugar and to make sure that way when you do go and eat your next meal, you're not so ravenously hungry that you're gonna eat way too much, and then you've put yourself into a caloric surplus. I'm sure you guys have all done it. I do it myself. Maybe we miss a meal, maybe we just haven't been planned and prepped and prepared for, and we haven't eaten for 6, 7, 8 hours, maybe whatever, less than that. But then you get home or you're just tempted by something and you just completely overeat. So rule number 1 is to eat to 80% full, mindfully, which means eat at the table and savor each bite of food. Don't eat at the computer or in front of the TV. Shut off all your devices and make your mealtime something that is a consistency. Make sure that it is a routine, and also making sure that you're eating frequently so that way you don't have those huge pangs of hunger that lead to overeating. Okay, so that's basic habit number 1. Eat to 80% full, but to prevent from overdoing that, again, making sure that you're eating frequently. Whether it's 3 times a day, 4 times a day, 5 times a day, there's lots of different information pieces out there. There's no right or wrong. It's what works best for you. That's what's important, okay? So forget about what everybody else is saying and just let us teach you the right way. Number 2, this one's probably the most important one. Protein. That is your foundation and everything that you need to help sustain the lean muscle that you have and even build muscle. Women, you talk about toning, tightening, things like that. Well, that means putting on muscle, okay? And so that means eating enough protein. Most women are not even anywhere near what they need to eat for protein. What that number is, I can't tell you unless you use one of our more advanced programs, and we can dial that in for you. But that's why we have more advanced programs, more information to come there. So the main thing is that you're eating quality lean protein sources at each meal, and even a snack if you can. So that means at least, at the minimum, 3 times a day, a serving of protein. Well, what is a serving of protein? I would say a good solid 30 grams at the minimum, okay? So make sure that you're getting that in. Fish, lean beef, chicken, pork, whey, protein powder. What we carry here is top of the line. It's great to throw in smoothies. It's great to have on the go just in case you forgot something as a supplement, never a meal replacement. So again, 3 meals a day at the minimum, and then even your snack should include some sort of protein. If you need ideas for protein, we'll learn that as we go. Eating your vegetables at each meal, okay? Eat your vegetables at each meal. I'm gonna be your mom or dad, whatever. It's important to try and get those in. I struggle with myself. If you need to get powdered greens, that's fine. Let's get your vitamins, minerals, and nutrients in through your vegetables, and should be getting in at least 3 servings of that per day. Here's a little tip for you. I front load my meals with my vegetables first, meaning that's the first thing that I eat. I fill up on those, get those out of the way, then I move my protein and fat and then my carbs lastly, so that way I get the key nutrients in first. All right, so it's a little pro tip for you. Front load on the carbs, or excuse me, not on the carbs, on the vegetables. Carbs are next. They're not bad, they're not the devil, don't eliminate them. Carbs have the same amount of calories as protein does. And that was what we'll get into with macros in the next video. And I'm gonna explain why it doesn't matter where it's carbs, fats, or protein. You need all of them, and not one is worse than the other. So don't eliminate carbs. Eat them. You need them for fuel, and you need them for recovering from your workouts. Your muscles actually need carbs to recover, okay? So if you're avoiding yourself of carbs, you're actually basically going to shoot yourself in the foot, and ultimately your progress is going to slow down, your performance is going to stop, and that's definitely not what we want. So key here though is, for fat loss, you want to eat your carbs as close to your workouts as possible. So an hour or 2 ahead of time, or immediately, or an hour after your workouts, and then 1 or 2 other servings throughout the day as well. The reason being is if you eat them ahead of time, your body's going to utilize that for fuel during your workouts. And if you eat them afterwards, your body's going to utilize that for fuel for repair and recovery, okay? Nutrition is so deep on a biological level. It is way above what anybody understands. It is not about eating less. It's not about eating 1,200 calories. It's not about creating this huge window of deficit. Yes, at the end of the day, you need to be at a negative calorie balance, but too much of a negative calorie balance is going to lead to a lot of other problems that's going to ultimately lead to your failure and not to your success, okay? And then the next thing we want to look at is higher quality carbs. Obviously, you know, your vegetables, sweet potatoes, fruits, whole grains, oats, those are all great sources. And then you've got your processed stuff that, yes, it's so yummy, but need to limit and realize that those things are carbs as well, okay? The next important one, healthy fat, you guys. Avocados and nuts, oils, butters, things like that. All those have healthy fat in it. You need to be getting those in every day as well. Several servings, in fact. If you're not getting those in, you're gonna feel hungry a lot. It's gonna limit your hormone production, and it's also gonna limit your vitamins that are fat soluble, so vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K, which are all important for hormone production and fat loss, okay? So if you're not getting enough healthy fat in, your body's gonna suffer that way, and of course, it's a very satiating, filling food as well. So make sure you guys are getting your healthy fats in each day. And then last but not least, I cannot stress this enough. How many times I hear people telling me that they're not losing any weight, they're following the program, and so I go down the checklist and I'm like, how much water are you drinking? I've heard 40 ounces, 50 ounces, 60 ounces. That is nowhere even near good enough, okay? You need to be drinking about a gallon of water, 128 ounces, on your workout days. On your non-workout days, I would say 100 ounces is sufficient, but I've had people come to me and say, I'm not losing any weight, I'm doing everything right, except for they're not drinking enough water. I get them to start drinking enough water, and bam, within a couple days, they're back down a few pounds. Their body's working. Water is so important, okay? It's not just drink more water because we say so. It's because it holds a lot of implications. It helps with a lot of biological processes, a lot of help with the gut, with absorption of nutrients and minerals. Your muscles are 70-80% water, so if you're depleting your muscles of water, they're not going to perform, they're not going to grow, they're not going to get toned, okay? So a lot of key things that happen when you drink enough water, and a lot of detrimental things that happen if you don't drink enough water. Pro tip number 2, find yourself a bottle. You need 128 ounces. Let's make this real quick and easy. This is 32. So I need 4 of these to make sure that I'm gonna get my 128 ounces in every single day, right? 32, 64, so on and so forth, 128. I like to put rubber bands, or females, you can use hair ties, and put them around your bottle. Each time you drink one, you're gonna take a band off, and lets you know how much water you need to consume, how many more you need for the left of the day, and you can spread it out throughout the day. It's a very good visual reminder. One other quick thing I'll throw in there is a sweet little app. It's called, what is it? I don't know. I can't remember, but we'll get it in there. It'll be one of the tools that you can use, and you can make drinking water one of your habits. It is habit-based and habit-driven. So one last thing before I wrap it up. I try and keep these videos around 10 minutes or so please bear with me. They're very important. We're going to talk about habits. Habits are the things that either have you where you're at now, lead you to where you want to be, or keep you from getting to your goals, or maybe you're just staying stagnant, okay? So either your lead measures or your lag measures. Those are your habits. And that's the key here. If we're not changing your habits, we're not educating you, and you're not educating and changing your habits, you will never see the results that you need over the long term, okay? So I'm trying to get you to understand the idea of how we're going to change your lifestyle, and we're going to use that through mindset, we're going to use that through habits, we're going to use that through education, testing. All these videos I'm putting out is going to help you with that, okay? So there you have it, your 6 basic habits. Eat to 80% full, eat your quality lean protein sources every single meal, eat lots of protein basically, you can't go wrong there. Eat plenty of vegetables, eat your carbs, okay? Just eat them around your workouts, and just make sure you're eating 3 to 4 servings a day, okay? No big deal. Eat your healthy fats. And last but not least, drink a lot of water, okay? So don't forget, I'm going to be testing you on these things, and you should be taking notes and writing this stuff down. If not, go back, rewatch this video, let some more of it sink in. It doesn't hurt to watch it a couple times, all right? Okay, there is your Nutrition 101, your basic habits, and your foundation that we're going to use to build on long-term success and nutrition knowledge, okay? Looking forward to educating you and teaching you the rest of the stuff down the road. All right, thanks. We'll see you on the other side.